Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's College Preview Day session for the Administrative Professional Program. With me tonight, I have Carol, Patsy, Erica, as well as Shelly, and these are all of your instructors and faculty within the program. Myself, I'm Colby Flanagan. I'm one of the recruitment advisors at NBCC, so we may have spoken either in person or through email. There are some people joining right now, so I'm just going to admit them. First and foremost, this session is recorded, so you will be able to refer to it later on. Otherwise, during the presentation, please have your microphone and video turned off. At the end, we will allow you to turn on your video and microphone, and you can meet your instructors as well as your peers. On the far right-hand side of your screen, you should see a chat. If you do not see a chat on the very top, there's a little chat bubble. Click there and it will populate the chat for you. In here, you can ask questions and interact with your peers. And if there's any questions that are kind of popping up throughout the presentation that I can answer, I will. Otherwise, I will save the rest of the questions for the faculty. So from there, I am now going to hand it over to your instructors.
Hi there. So my name is Erica Mulligard, and I am the academic chair for the administrative professional programs at NBCC. I did want to stick on camera just for a minute, just so you can put a face to my name, because I will be kicking off the presentation. And I do want to ask just quickly, can everybody see the PowerPoint presentation? Just throw it up in the chat, or if you're on, oh, I got a thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started. I can't see the chat when we are going through the presentation, but I hope to get caught up after I finish my piece and hand things over to my colleagues. As Colby mentioned, we do have a couple of your faculty members on the call here this evening. So we have Carol Clerk, Shelly Poirier, and Patsy McIntosh. They all play really special roles at the college. They're also coordinating instructors. So in addition to being instructors, they also play a really key role in providing you with academic advising support. So they'll become popular and familiar faces for you all. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the presentation. So I will say first, I do want to say a huge thank you. I know that we would all prefer to see you face-to-face College Preview Day. Such a special day at NBCC. We really love welcoming folks to our campuses. And although you can't be at our campus today, we are honored nonetheless to have you here this evening in a virtual setting to put on this presentation for you this evening. So there's going to be lots of information coming at you, but do remember this session is recorded for you, so you will be able to review it back, and at any time snap some photos with your smartphones of any of the slides that are pertinent to you. So here at NBCC, we offer several administrative professional programs. So we have our general administrative professional program, and then we offer 3 different specialization areas. So we have the administrative professional executive program, administrative professional health services program, and then our administrative professional French second language training program. Here are some quick facts, and now I know everyone can likely read, but some of these facts are so important and they will really quickly answer some of your questions, so I am going to go through it carefully. So our administrative professional, our general program, is a 1-year certificate offering 24 credits, one of which is an elective, and a 4-week practicum at the end. This program is offered out of our Fredericton, Moncton, and St. John campuses. In our Fredericton and Moncton campuses, you can start the program in the fall, so in September, but in our St. John campus, you can start the program in September or in January. Our administrative professional health services program is a 1.5-year certificate offering 37 credits, 2 of which are electives, and a 6-week practicum at the end. This program is offered in Fredericton and Moncton and is only starting in our September intake. Our Administrative Professional French Second Language Training Program is a 2-year diploma, and it offers 48 credits, one of which is an elective, and a 5-week practicum at the end. This program is offered only in Fredericton, and it starts only in September. Our Administrative Professional Executive Program is a 1.5-year certificate. It offers 37 credits, 4 of which are electives, and a 6-week practicum at the end. This program is only offered in St. John and starts both in September and in January. Now, before I hand things over to our coordinating instructors, and I believe it's Shelley that's going to be jumping on next, I was really hoping you could throw in the chat the program that you're here to learn the most about. So throw in the chat and let us know which program you're here for. Shelley, I'll hand things over to you.
Hi, Erica. Hi, everyone. I was going to put my camera on, but that's okay. I don't necessarily need to put my camera on. I think you can see my picture. That's kind of really what I look like. I'm going to go through the job opportunities that relate to the specific programs that Erica walked through with you. First of all, it's a pleasure to meet everyone and welcome this evening. I know the coordinating instructors are really looking forward to go through the slides with you to give you more information and to answer questions that you may have. So first of all, when we're talking about job opportunities, we're looking at both the administrative field, data entry clerk, accounting clerks, and a lot of these jobs are viewed as our national occupational codes. So these codes sort of derive what types of positions and jobs for the administrative profession. So the French second language training, more bilingual, both in French language and English in a bilingual province such as New Brunswick for the administrative professional. ASL, administrative service positions with provincial and federal government jobs in both the province and for the federal governments and federal agencies, which may be located all across the provinces. The executive program, more of the executive assistant, more in a tends to lend to a management of an office and that sort of executive area, working for a higher level, higher end within an office, and an office manager. So those types of roles from the executive program we see many of our students working into. Health services, obviously this is more in relation to working in as a medical office assistant inside of a physician's office or a family doctor, all different types of specialties for the physicians that you may work for, as well as what are called ancillary offices, such as working for physiotherapists, nutritional offices, working in various sort of healthcare services, but may not necessarily be working at a hospital. But with the health services, it's also geared to working in a hospital as well. What normally is called a health unit operation clerk or a health unit clerk, where you're managing or taking care of all of the orders and all of the tasks that are requested at a hospital area or in a specific department of a hospital. So it's a well-rounded program. They all are well-rounded programs, specifically in this particular case, specifically for a physician. So I'm going to pass it on to my next CI.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carol Clerk, and as Eric had mentioned, I'm the coordinating instructor at the Fredericton campus. So this slide, we're going to talk about the core courses. So no matter which one of the program, as long as it's an administrative professional program, these are the core courses that you will be taking. So we've kind of got it broken down into different segments. You'll notice that very first column are our preparatory courses. So these are the ones that really get you started, and we start them off in the fall to give you an idea of what the program's going to be like. So keyboarding, of course, we need to get those typing speeds up. It'll help you throughout the entire duration of your program, but absolutely, when you leave the program and go to work, these are some of those skills that will help you get your job done very efficiently and accurately. Computer skills development. So this is one to just to get you started, to kind of even the playing ground, to make sure that all of those computer skills that you require for your program and again on the job are there, and we don't want you losing files as we are working along. So file management is a really big part of that computer skills development, as well as handling emails. And we're going to chat more about emails today, or tonight I should say, in a little bit later in the presentation. But in an administrative position, emails are hugely important. So we will talk about that in computer skills development. And of course, business math. Again, these are those preparatory courses. You'll notice that next column gets into the Microsoft Office. So Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access. So you will get very advanced skills in Word and intermediate skills in Excel, and everyone will get introductory skills in Access also. So communication, a big part of what we do as an administrative assistant is communicating. So we do have communication skills. We'll start to make sure that your grammar is where it should be. We'll make sure that you're able to write proper business letters and emails and make sure that they are professional. That's again something that we really want to emphasize throughout your duration with us, is professionalism. The next column you'll notice is accounting. We'll start out with our generalized accounting. So that's our accounting essential skills, so manual accounting, to make sure you understand what accounting's all about. And then we'll get into the computerized accounting using Sage 50 accounting. Then the next column you'll notice are the soft skills. Now these are the skills that sometimes we don't often think about as essential skills for the office, but they absolutely are. So starting with our interpersonal communications, you'll notice that, I just lost the slideshow. I'm not sure if everybody lost it or if that was just me. Seeing it?
I still see it.
There
I
we
still
go.
see it, Carol.
Okay, I'm back again. So with our interpersonal communications, you'll notice that we will learn a lot of those things about getting along, handling stress, time management, all those things that are hugely important on the job. The next one that it mentions there, work safely, because working safely and working without accidents is a huge importance to us. In New Brunswick, we have a very low accident rate on the job. We want to keep it that way. And so we work very closely with WorkSafe New Brunswick to ensure that everyone has the skills that they need and the knowledge that they need to go out and work safely on their jobs. The next one, orientation to service learning. This is the one that I like to say, it's putting the community back into community college. So this is the one where I get a chance to go out and volunteer in different organizations. And I must say that over the years, this has proven to be a real highlight for a lot of students. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with that one. It's both work safely and orientation to service learning are what we call non-credit courses. So there's no credit associated with them. However, they are a requirement of the program. And then you'll notice there are some specialty administrative professional specialty courses, including records management, because files are so important to us. And I know some people think, well, we're doing everything electronically now, we don't need to manage those files. Actually, we do. And sometimes there's even more important that we manage them appropriately. So records management is a big part of what we're doing. It's a lot more than just filing. Uh, Essential office skills, where we get a chance to work with some of that office equipment. We get a chance to work on the telephone systems, transferring calls and scheduling appointments. So it's all kinds of things that are included in that essential office skills course. And then meeting procedures. So often we spend a lot of our day in meetings. So we have to be able to prepare for the meeting. We know what needs to take place before the meeting actually occurs. That includes the agenda, how the meeting actually takes place, and then the minutes of the meeting, or the follow-up, which is the records, that actual formal record that we keep of the meeting. And then you'll notice the last one there under the core courses is employment strategies, because it's important for you to be able to get a job after you graduate. Often, and I should say probably most often, or most of you, that's the reason that you're going to be taking this program. I won't say always, because that's not necessarily the case, but for most of you, your end goal is to get a job as an administrative professional. So we'll work with you very closely and make sure that you have the skills that you need and know all of the how to prepare your resume, how to handle that interview, and so on. So when you leave us, you are best equipped to go out there and get a job in your field. Okay, so that's the core courses. Now I'm going to turn it over to Patsy to talk about the specialty courses for the executive program. Patsy?
Thank you, Carol. Hi, my name is Patsy McIntosh. I'm one of the instructors at the St. John campus, and welcome to this webinar. I turned my camera on because I'm not like Shelley. My picture doesn't look anything like me now. So I'm just going to turn it off just to make sure that we maintain a good internet connection here. So for the executive program, which is a 60-week program, there are specialty courses, and one is advanced business writing. What you'll find with some of these courses, they're going to build on a previous course. So advanced business writing will build on business writing, where you'll be doing reports and proposals. The next one is executive office skills. That builds on essential office skills. This one, you'll be practicing public speaking skills. You'll be planning travel arrangements. You'll also be examining HR issues. In the next column, we have desktop publishing. We'll be using Publisher for that. This is where you'll be creating newsletters, brochures, and flyers. The next is integrated learning. After you've learned Word, Excel, and Access, you're going to be using that previous knowledge of the software suite, and you're going to be taking components from one of those packages and integrating it into another. So like with Word, you can bring in Excel, you can bring in Access. So it's integrating the Excel, the Access, and Word. The next course is multimedia. Multimedia is working with audio files, video files, and you'll also be working with digital images. The next is social media. This is where you'll be exploring existing and new platforms. You'll be using tools and techniques and implement that to write, post, and monitor your social media. The next is advanced spreadsheets. Advanced spreadsheets would be a continuation of an intermediate spreadsheet. This is where you'll be getting into more functions or formulas dealing with financials. You'll be importing work from an external source, and you'll also be using some Visual Basic. And there's a practicum. The practicum for the executive program is 6 weeks for this practicum. And for the next slide, I believe it is Carol. Oh, sorry, Shelley.
Hi again. I'm going to leave my camera off only because I just want to make sure that we're all not cutting out or anything. So next we're looking at the specialty courses for the administrative professional program, the health services option. Okay, so as Carol mentioned earlier, when she was talking about sort of the basic sort of fundamental courses in health services, there are fundamental courses related to medical terminology. anatomy, physiology, and then into the specialties of medical terminology. So you go into a little bit more in depth. But the very beginning of walking into a health services program, the foundational skills of understanding health services is really understanding medical terminology and the anatomy and the physiology of the human body. Health services, office management. Obviously, once you have those skills and you understand the fundamentals and the basics, you're still integrating that along with an office, working inside of a medical office. So medical office procedures is one of the courses that you would use, and you would learn the skills and the competencies to manage an office and the procedures that happen, whether the communications where you're dealing with the hospital, whether you're dealing with testing centers, whether you're dealing with public health, all sorts of things that would go on in an office. Medical office transcription, as many of you could probably be well aware, there are recordings of reports. There are recordings of letters, referral letters in health services today, and a lot of them are digitally transcribed. So you would be learning using medical office transcription equipment, as well as the digital transformation of the document to become a hard copy document that a physician can use. Medical billing. So we look at how healthcare is billed and how physicians are paid, how the hospital or how a Horizon or a health authority, regardless of what health authority you're in, how a health authority actually pays for the physician, and how the patient or the client bills for services in New Brunswick. So we look at the Canada medical system, we look at what medical billing actually is, and how a medical health services administrative assistant or administrative professional manages the medical billing for that office. Then we sort of kind of give you a capstone course called a medical office simulation. This is where the all the individual courses sort of come together to get you in preparation for before you go out into your what's called the 6-week office practicum for your work practicum. So the medical office simulation gives you sort of a practice run and a practice course in using all the skills that you brought together and transferring all the knowledge to sort of manage an office under a simulated environment. The acute care processes, the last part is really digging into health operations. So you're learning the way of how a hospital runs the operations of a unit or sort of a clinic or an area in the hospital, really working on patient charts, and identifying pieces and information that are used to sort of manage and run that area or that certain ward. And we call it health unit operations. And then once again, your 6 weeks practicum, and your practicum can be at a hospital, or your practicum can also be at a doctor's office or at one of those ancillary medical areas, as we mentioned earlier. Okay. So I think the next maybe Carol again.
Yes, thank you. So now we'll look at the specialty courses for the administrative professional French second language training programs. So as we talked about the core courses that all of the options take, then we looked at our specialty courses for executive and then for health services and now for the French second language training program. You'll notice that there seems to be a few more courses here, but keep in mind that the French second language training program is a 2-year diploma program. So again, we've got it divided into different columns here. And that very first column is our oral French. And oral French, you'll see that it begins with an introduction to French. And that's the first course that you'll take, or first specialty course, I should say, that you'll take. And you'll take that in the fall of year 1, or so in the very first term. After that, there are several other courses that you'll take, one each term, that will continue on with that. So you'll continue to work on your oral French. At the same time, we'll also be working on French grammar because they go hand in hand. In order to speak properly, you have to know the rules behind it. So French grammar, although we don't take a French grammar course in the first term, you will pick one up in the second term, and then every term thereon right up till your final term. The next column, traitement de document d'affaires, that is your document formatting en français. So you'll get a chance to work with your Word once again, but this time your textbook will be in French, as well as all the formats that you will be learning will be in French. So it reinforces your Word skills, but it also gives you the skills to document a lot of those business forms, letters and memos and emails and so on in French. And of course, there is a difference between formatting in English and formatting in French. So you'll get a good grip on that. And there are 2 courses with that. Now, under the specialty column, there are 3 different things that we're looking at here. So the first one, un travail bien présenté, that would be your capstone course where you actually get into a chance to put everything you've learned in French together and present it to the class. Folks really enjoy this course. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun, but it pulls everything together. The next one you'll notice is the New Brunswick Oral French Proficiency Testing. So this actually is done outside of, outside of NBCC, but it's by the provincial government. You will be wherever you're taking your course, and the interview is by phone. So you will have an interview at the very beginning of year 1 in the fall term, usually around October, just to see what level you are currently. So that one isn't, I mean, it's important to get a nice base to say, this is where I began the program. And then at the end of the second year, about the spring term of year 2, you'll get a chance to do that again, that oral French proficiency testing, to see what level you are. And this is very important before you go out onto practicum and when you're applying for jobs, because employers want to know what level you've reached for that oral French proficiency testing. And there are certain level requirements for different jobs, and so they're very, very interested to see what you got on that certificate. So you'll receive that certificate, and that's over and above your NBCC diploma for the APFSLT program. And then you'll notice the very last item on this list is the 5-week office practicum. And this is where our students currently are. They're out on their practicum right now. And I must say, we've had several of them already receive job offers. And I don't know, I suspect it's been the same with Patsy and Shelley this week. Our emails and our phones have been just going crazy looking for references for students who are out there on their practicum looking to hire them. So that's a very, very exciting part of the program. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back to Patsy.
Thank you, Carol. This next portion of the webinar is based on roadmaps. For every program under the umbrella of admin professionals, there's a roadmap per. The roadmap, what it does, it shows you your courses per term. So this is for the AP, the September start. It shows you the course code, then it gives you the title of the course, the credits for that course. That's a got it. That's more or less for the student. Were you successful in that course or not? You will receive a roadmap in the fall. And it also shows prereqs. So if you notice here, like writing fundamentals and applications, there's no prereqs. But if you come down to document formatting, it has a prereq of KSSC 1007. So if you look up here, there it is there. So you must be successful in keyboarding in order to continue on with document formatting. So these are your fall term courses. Then it's going to show you the winter term courses, and then it'll show you in the spring. So in a September start, you'll be graduating the next June. And there's your practicum is listed there. We have some testimonials from our grads. So this one is from High Tush. His quote is, "Admin professional program gets you workplace ready. This program has all the necessary skills and knowledge required for you to enter and thrive in a workplace. I honed my social, technical, and communication skills, which helped me in developing a thorough skill set, being adaptable, and responding to any opportunities that come my way." As Erica had mentioned at the beginning, for the AP program at the St. John campus, we have a January start. And again, the courses are very similar, but it's just the delivery may be a little bit different. That is all. So if you start in the winter, then you continue into the spring, you have the summer off, you come back in the fall. So roughly about mid-November is when you go out and practicum. So by the middle of December, you would have completed the admin professional with a January start. You'll have your certificate. So next we have a testimonial again from Shelley. Her quote is, "More than I expected. I went back to school after 31 years. What I was about to learn was more than I expected. I worked as administrator for 21 years before enrolling in the admin professional program. I went back to school because I was tired of being passed up for promotions due to not having an admin diploma behind me. I enjoyed the course and I met amazing people along the way. I am a 2021 graduate and very proud of that. The instructors taught me the things that would help me in my current job that I use every day. I was hired at Horizon Health as an administrator working with the community. I love my job and I'm so thankful I took the chance on NBCC to get me where I needed to be." And the next slide, I'll hand it over to Shelley.
Hi again. Actually, I'll put on my camera on for a few seconds so you can see. I am real. I'm not a robot. Okay, I'm going to shut my camera off. So you're going to be with me for next few slides, at least 4 slides here. We're going to talk about the program map again, and specifically for health services. So I just want you to take a look at term 1, fall, that's your first year. And you'll notice it says term 2, winter, same year, term 3, spring, first year. And then the next slide, will not move on yet, but the next slide will be the continuation. Thank you very much, Erica. Will be the continuation of that. So, similar to the French second language program, which is a little bit longer, administrative professional health services is a year and a half. It's not a full 2 years, so it's a 1.5 year for this program. It's a little bit longer, obviously, because we've added the health option and the health services specialty courses to get you that job within the medical field, in the medical area, health services areas. So first of all, you'll notice here, once again, the fundamental foundational courses in that first year for fall, and in the winter, once again, you'll notice that there's some prerequisites related to the first year in the winter. And then as you get into the spring of the first year, the prerequisites are listed a little bit more because you're into the specialty courses, and we have to build those foundational skills first to move you through that pathway of learning. In the second year, or in your second year of the program, starting in fall of the second year, which is called term 5, you'll notice that it's really bent into the specialty of health unit operations, which is a 3-credit course. So it takes up it's a heavily skilled course on learning about the hospital and learning about that specific industry. And then medical transcription, medical office simulation, that capstone course. And then in what's called your second year, which is really in the winter of that second year, is where you do that 6-week practicum in the medical field for health services. Okay, so that's that roadmap that goes into a year, 1.5 years. So what are our graduates saying in relation to Horizon Health? So this is Samantha Bradford. She entered a new chapter in her life. She was scared and intimidated, but it's also very exciting. She was going to NBCC and taking the Administrative Professional Health Services course. It was an excellent experience, and she's saying she would recommend it to anyone who's also interested in the field. And here's her quick guide to success. So here's a snapshot of what she's telling you to be successful is to say hi to whoever you sit in the next to in that classroom. And she says, trust me, those seatmates will become some of your best friends. Long-term relationships are built in college, as I'm sure some of you have long-term relationships in high school. You still build those skills in the workplace as well. And that's really nice to hear. So she also says, don't be afraid of asking questions. Your instructors love getting feedback and knowing that their students are getting it. She went a long time of being afraid to ask questions and had a fear of looking stupid. And she says, you aren't stupid. You're taking the initiative and you're learning. She says, don't fear the practicum, which is, going out into the workplace and training. Nothing is ever as scary as it seems from far away, and practicum is a fantastic learning experience, and it's time to ask as many questions as your heart desires. She really hopes this will help you navigate your way through your time at NBCC. Don't take it for granted because it'll be over before you know it. Remember to have fun, keep an open mind, and study hard. So the next slide, once again, is what our graduates have to say. I'm hoping this is my slide. Am I taking up someone's slide? I think this is mine. Once again, this is Kira. It's me, sorry. This is Kira Browie, class of 2019. She is a unit health clerk at the St. John Regional Hospital in New Brunswick. And once again, she talks about how this health services program has helped her with job opportunities and preparing her for the medical field, especially in the hospital. So she's more specific to the hospital. It's well known that Horizon, which is the New Brunswick Health Authority, the job opportunities mostly are offered by seniority, but having the NBCC program under her belt has given her the edge. Employers like to see how you have experience and knowledge in healthcare and are not completely brand new to the scene. In her experience, the employers love to take grads from NBCC Administrative Professional Program, and this is so true. We are seeing this. This testimony is exactly what's happening right now in our lives as coordinating instructors. It's an excellent reputation. I recently took a new job in St. John in April of this year, and the manager picked me for the job because not only did I have some seniority hours, but I had taken the NBCC program for what she was looking for in applicants. I've been a Horizon employee for over 2 years now, and I was hired right directly from her practicum in Fredericton at the DEC, and that's the abbreviation for the Fredericton Hospital that's listed there. And now she works at the St. John Regional Hospital, which is a couple hours away from the Fredericton Hospital. I highly recommend this program to future students, and she's glad that she can be an alumni with NBCC and share some words of encouragement. So it's always nice as a CI to hear that as well. Okay.
Hi, with this roadmap, this is for the executive, but it's for the September start. So again, what you're probably noticing is that for the AP umbrella, the first term is common. And you also notice for this executive, for the winter term, you may have noticed that this is pretty common, some of these courses throughout. Then you have your spring term, because you're a September start, you go to the fall, the winter, spring, and we can go to the next slide. And then you have the summer off, and then you continue the next fall, which is your second year. So you come back in the fall, and then you go out in the winter for your practicum. This is a 1.5 or year and a half program with a 6-week practicum. So this is for our September. And this is a testimonial from Michelle. NBCC St. John Administrative Professional Executive Program was the right choice for me. After graduating in 2017, I was able to obtain a professional career with an above average income, full benefits, and a great pension. The coursework is intense, however, it is preparing you for a successful career. Since obtaining my current position, I must switch gears constantly. I use every course that was offered at NBCC in one form or another. The teachers were supportive and always there for questions and extra help if needed. I would recommend this program to anyone interested in office administration. I will add, I am so grateful I made the decision to the executive portion of the program. This part of the program will change what you are qualified for after graduation. It prepares you to be a leader and be involved. It will give you the confidence you need to begin a new career and succeed. This is a great opportunity to say thank you to the teachers and staff of the Administrative Professional Executive Program. I am so grateful to have had each of you to learn from and grow from. Your leadership, knowledge, encouragement, and friendships have made a difference, and I thank you all. So this next slide is the executive, but it's for the January intake. So you'll be starting the program in January. So again, you have your winter term, then your spring term, then you have the summer off. You come back in the fall and you still continue. What you're going to find again is that the courses are building. Remember I mentioned about advanced business writing. You'll be doing advanced spreadsheets. You'll be using integrated. And that's what happens in that winter term. And then in the spring term, you'll be going out for your 6-week practicum.
Okay, so this next slide is the roadmap for the graduation for Administrative Professional French Second Language Training Program. So again, it's very similar in that we have a fall term, a winter term, and a spring term in both the year 1 and year 2. And one of the things that you will also notice about each of these courses is that in that fall term, or each of the programs is in that fall term of year 1, under the prerequisites, there aren't any. And that's with the exception of document formatting. And that's because once you've been accepted into the program, you're already eligible to take all of those year 1 fall courses. And you'll notice that one that Patsy had mentioned earlier, document formatting, does have a prereq. And that's because you'll start with keyboarding. Once you finish your keyboarding, you know how to type, then you can go into the next one, into document formatting. But you'll notice that in the winter and spring terms, a lot of those courses have prerequisites and some have more than one. And so it's very important that when you're in the term and you're taking a course that you consider what impact this course has on the remainder of your program. So if you weren't successful in one of these courses, that means that will impact your winter term and or your spring term. So the other thing that I also want to mention here is all of your courses are required for graduation, but that doesn't mean you have to take all of the courses according to the program map. So if for any reason you wanted to drop a course at any point, then you'd certainly want to have a discussion with your academic or with your coordinating instructor, who is your academic advisor, and they will help you to map out just a roadmap of your own to make sure that you are successful in the program. So it is possible to take it over a longer period of time. It doesn't have to be completed in the time frame. And there's lots of reasons why folks might want to do it for a different period of time. Okay, so now if we look at year 2, again, you're going to see very similar, the fall term, the winter term, and then the spring term. And we're looking at what we call a 7-1-7 term system. So that means you're in class for 7 weeks, then we have a week off. So in the fall term, that's the Student Success Week, and then we take courses for another 7 weeks. Then we'll have what we call our Christmas break, or that holiday break, and then we'll come back to the winter term and take courses for 7 weeks. Then there will be a week off for our spring term break or study break, and then 7 weeks again, and then there's another Student Success Week before we go into the spring term. So that's our 7-1-7 system. Okay, so now let's hear what our graduates have to say from this program. So we have 2 slides. This first one is Joey Mellow, and Joey is a graduate of the class of 2020. You'll notice that Joey is currently the administrative assistant in early childhood operational support services with Department of Education and Early Childhood Development, and that's with the province of New Brunswick. And I noticed in the chat that we have someone joining us from Brazil. Well, Joey is also from Brazil originally, and this is what Joey has to say. He says, the Administrative Professional French Second Language Training Program has equipped me with the right tools for the job. It allowed me to showcase my organization and attention to detail skills in an attractive manner. It offered me meaningful connections with peers, instructors, and fellow administrators in New Brunswick. It made me feel comfortable communicating effectively in both official languages, as well as it provided me a skillful approach to word processing, data entry, spreadsheets, and accounting software applications. I feel accomplished after obtaining my 2-year diploma, as it enabled me to find skilled work in New Brunswick, and it was a stepping stone to obtaining my permanent residency in Canada. I sincerely appreciate all the care and attention from NBCC instructors and staff. Oh, and Nicole Bianchi, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Joey's a great person. It was him who gave me the idea to study on this course. And I'm so glad to hear that, Nicole. Wonderful. Okay, and our next slide is from Lindsay Lister. Lindsay is also a graduate from the class of 2020, and Lindsay is currently an administrative assistant with the Federal Operations Support Services with the RCMP headquarters in J Division. So again, that would be a federal government position. And so Lindsay says, before attending the Administrative Professional French Second Language Training Program at NBCC Fredericton, I could not have known how much it would change my life. I went into the program with a prior knowledge in French, but it had been 10 years since I had used it. The program and its instructors gave me the courage I needed to achieve my goals, not only in French, but in finding a career as well. I am happy to say that I received many job offers, but I accepted the one that I felt pulled to. I am now a full-time employee of the RCMP with an indeterminate position, which is like a regular position. Every day I am given the opportunity to use my French in reading, writing, and oral. I would not have gotten this position or the ability to further my career without this program. If you're thinking about this program, do it. Your life will change for the better. If you work hard, you will excel and will have the help of the kindest and most understanding instructors every step of the way. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I'm so pleased to hear that I pronounced it correctly. Thank you. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to Shelley for frequently asked questions.
So there are sort of frequently asked questions that we kind of accumulated to develop and to give you some direction. Many students ask, can I work part-time while I'm going to school? You can, absolutely, just as long as it doesn't interfere with your course classroom sessions. And these may be virtual classes, these may be face-to-face classes. You just need to make sure that you are attending class as it's part of our, it's part of your learning and it's part of the student code of conduct to, regularly attend your classes. So yes, you can work. What will classes look like? So there'll be a combination of both virtual sessions, similar to what we're doing right now, and on campus delivery. So a face-to-face delivery. So there'll be a mixture or a blend of both. You can also click on our website, visit what to expect at nbcc.ca, and that will get you to, get an idea of what can I expect when the year starts. How do I get to the library? Are the campuses open? All those different things. What about my, computers and things like that? So that'll give you some access to some information and some specific questions. Do I have to attend at specific times? Yes, you'll have both scheduled and on-campus classroom sessions with specific due dates for your assignments. So, it's a program scheduling map that you'll follow. You'll have classes at a certain specific time throughout the day, and your instructor will assign assignments and tests and various assessments for you to do, and they'll be due, a couple days later or a couple weeks later or whatever the instructor is assigning. So you will also have both virtual and face-to-face sessions. When do I start my classes? So we have an academic calendar, the NBCC academic calendar, and anytime you want to Google academic calendar for NBCC 2021, and it'll give you a list of all the important dates for our academic year, which starting in September, and that carry through all the way till the summer graduation. So it outlines the academic year. Okay. The next slide, you're with me on this slide again. Do I need to get immunization? So this is really specific to the students enrolled in the health services program. Do I need to get immunizations before I start? We ask that you don't do that right away. We ask that you wait to get your immunizations, specifically because we want to make sure that we're following all the guidelines that the hospital requires prior to being on a practicum with the hospital. And your instructor is going to plan that plan it all out for you and guide you on what particular information and what particular immunizations you may need. So we ask that you don't do anything just yet for those of you enrolled in the health services program, and you'll have plenty of time to get those completed. How much do immunization cost? Well, we have a price listed there, as you can see. Between $200 to $300 are your individual price costs for a total cost, I should say, on average for the immunizations that the hospital requires if you want to go work there and do a practicum there. Do jobs and health services require shift work? Yes, yes, there are shift work within the hospital settings. Not all hospital settings have shift work. You can imagine the EDAR department, the operating room department, some specific areas, labor and delivery, would require some shift work on the administrative health services, but often some of those positions really are paid higher, a little bit higher, because of that shift premium that the employer provides. Okay? Passing it on. I think it's
Right.
no. Oh no, that's okay.
Yes.
I was
So
you had
that
me
is
worried.
me. Okay, so program expectations and academic tools. The first thing that I want to say is check your email often. And I'm noticing in the chat, people are asking about schedules, and this is one of the things you'll want to be watching your email for. So watch your emails for schedules. Once they're finalized, they will be emailed out to you. And as well as your IT, you'll want to watch for emails from them as well, because all about account setup and how to get your software, admissions, scholarship, registrations, all of those you'll be receiving through email. So it's very important that you give NBCC your correct email address and that you're watching it very closely. Once classes begin, don't stop watching your emails. You'll want to be watching it at least 2 or 3 times a day. I would say first thing in the morning, check your emails, midday, and at the end of the day. At minimum, check it 3 times a day, because a lot of communication does transpire that way. And as we chatted about earlier, emails are hugely important to the administrative professional field. You'll notice the next one, student software systems. So it talks first about student self-service, and that's through what we call SIMS or PeopleSoft. This is where you have a chance to go in and you can print off your own unofficial transcript, you can print off your tax forms, and you can access a lot of different forms all on your own. So that's why it's called student self-service. You can go in and access it. So that's great. The next one, the learning management system. Now, some of you may have experienced this already if you've been taking courses where the instructor maybe had a wiki page where you could actually access a lot of your information anywhere you have an internet connection. You can access that information, and you can also submit assignments anywhere you have an internet connection. And so the LMS system or learning management system that we're using is Brightspace, and we'll make sure in part of orientation that you have a nice overview of Brightspace before you get into your courses. And then the next thing that I really want to hit home is classes begin day 1. So have your laptop, textbooks, and software ready. So don't be planning to come to class and saying, oh, I'll be getting my laptop in the next couple of weeks. That's probably not a very good plan, because some of your courses in that first fall term are 7 weeks in duration. And so you want to be ready day 1 of week 1 with your laptop, textbooks, and software. And I know textbooks, you'll be getting information on what your textbooks are. You'll get a list and how you can access those. That will all be coming out to you in the near future. Hardware requirements. So there is a link here to the NBCC website under the programs, and it's called Technology Requirements. It tells you exactly what you need for a laptop. And I highly recommend that you read that closely and make sure that your laptop meets those specifications, and that'll save you from running into any problems when you get into some of the software later on in your program. And likewise, the software requirements. So all of your software you're going to be able to download from the NBCC site. And so there's the information on how you can get that on https://nbcc.ca under IT services. And then there is a link there for software as well. So that gives you all of that information. Okay, the next slide. The next one, instruction and work time. The first thing that it says workload. So with our 717 system that we are our structure, our program structure, we want to talk a little bit about that workload. And so we are operating under what we call like a 60-40 split, which means you would be in class 60% of your class time and 40% of it is over and beyond your class time. So that would be like your independent study where you're doing your research and so on. Then there would be homework over and above that time. Now notice this next bullet says intensity grows each term. And this is really important that you keep that in mind. Now, if you come in fall term and you're saying, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed in fall term, or this is I'm working really hard, I can't imagine a term being harder. Don't panic. It probably won't be in your case. And that's sometimes a good thing when you're trying to get caught up in fall term because you're setting good habits that will serve you well throughout your program. But for some folks, sometimes we say you come in those introductory courses or those foundational courses, if those are kind of things that you've already studied, sometimes we can get a little bit lackadaisical and may not be ready for when it picks up the pace. So for some of you, the intensity grows each term. For others, if you're working really hard in fall term, don't panic. Just keep up that same pace and you'll be fine. We have all kinds of available resources here at NBCC. And the first one, the first bullet there is the counselors. You have free counseling services that are available to you. And there is a link there as well. It's on the NBCC website under the Student Services section and where you can set up an appointment with the counselor. Library services. Again, this is on the NBCC website under the Student Services tab. Accessibility services. So if you're looking for accommodations in a particular course or if you need peer tutoring, then again, you can come to the NBCC website under Student Services and get some information and receive some resource there. We also have an Indigenous student advisor. We also have the manager of student development who can receive concerns and sometimes direct you to the proper person within our student services team. Tutoring and support services, and we have support groups for all kinds of support groups. So if you identify with any of these groups, then by all means take advantage of the support groups that are available. Connections to community resources over and beyond what we have available to you at NBCC. So our student services team has all kinds of resources available to you. We can help direct you to them as well, but they're all there on the website. Now the enrollment process, I'm trying to go quickly because I see our time, we're getting really close here. Under the enrollment process, it says we're block enrolled each term. So as I mentioned previously, when you're accepted into the program, you are already eligible for everything in the fall term. And if you're successful in all of those courses, you will be block enrolled into everything in the winter term. So if for any reason you want to drop a course from that winter term, then you're going to meet with your coordinating instructor or your academic advisor and we'll assist you with that process. But that's how you can expect that progress to take place. Okay, now over to Shelley, I believe, for tips for program success.
Hello again. So to be successful in your programs, they have really information on, moving you forward, moving you through each term from one term to another to be successful and to start to build your confidence as well. So attention to detail is really important, specifically in all programs, but I want to talk about spelling a little bit in the medical terminology field. You can just imagine how critical paying attention to detail when you're spelling those words and using using your medical terminology skills. Professionalism, once again, Carol mentioned this earlier, we will work together. We will work with you to build your confidence and your professionalism as an administrative professional. That's something that's critical to us, to, getting you out into industry and working in the field that you want to work in. And you represent that professionalism in that office. Carrying your learning forward. So when you're transferring from one term to the next term to the next term, you move those fundamental skills and you build on that path of learning, and your success is built on from that as well. So what you learn in one course needs to be brought forward from all your other courses. The second slide is using time management skills. So you want to complete your assignments really on time. And if you have struggles with that, you might want to also speak to your, you can speak to your instructors, your specific instructors. You can reach out to our counseling services, our learning strategists, but really look at your time management skills. What are you trying to juggle? How are you juggling everything? And how are you making college a priority for you at that point? Please ask for help. We're here to help you. That's our role. That is our job, to make sure that we build you with the successful skills for you to graduate and for you to be employable. Building relationships with your instructors and fellow classmates. This is something to keep you successful, because you can build study teams and study groups. And a lot of students now have, Facebook groups and chats and things like that to really help support their success along the way. And as you'll learn, when you start building strong relationships, you build your confidence and you build on your ability to be successful. And does anyone have any questions? I see lots of questions in the chat.
I've been trying to keep up with them. Someone did ask, I did mention about having a second monitor. That's maybe kind of one of the tips, is because you're going to be running the virtual classroom. You're going to be using a textbook. So there's a lot of flowing going on. So it'd be best, you don't have to buy a second monitor, but we certainly advise that you do purchase a second monitor.
And is there any other questions? You guys can put them in the chat or raise your hand and I can unmute you.
Oh, somebody asked where we'll be able to access this recorded session. So Kobe, I think you can answer that.
Yeah, so all of the recordings are going to be available next week to our accepted students. So keep checking your email. It should come out Monday or Tuesday. I think we got all the questions. If you guys do have any questions in the upcoming days, do not hesitate to contact us. The best way is through collegeworks@nbcc.ca. And again, this is recorded, so if you missed anything or just want to rewatch, reach out to us and I can send you the link directly.
I see we do have a question in the chat about, is it possible to rent campus apartments for 2 adults and 2 children? Colby, is that a question that you can address?
So at NBCC, we don't have any accommodations like housing or dormitories. So it is your responsibility to find housing. I always recommend checking Kijiji and Facebook. You'll see a lot of posts there. If you're not from the area, you can also call the NBCC and just ask to speak to a recruitment advisor at that campus, because each and every one of us kind of have some ideas of where to look regarding our campus or location.
Perfect. We didn't leave a whole lot of time for questions, but well, thank you. I have a question. I'm going to study AP Health Services. Can we add some courses extra, for example, some French courses or another that I saw very interesting of another AP program? I will say that typically your hands are going to be quite full with the course load that you're taking. Now, I would have mentioned that there is, I think, is there 2 electives in the AP Health Services? 2? I do believe that you have 2 elective options, and you may have the opportunity.
Yes, Erica, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. You do have the opportunity to perhaps look at taking some other courses of interest that weren't necessarily listed on the roadmap. Right now, though, those courses are selected by the campus, not by the student. So you will be advised as to which elective you will be taking. Now, if you're feeling like you can manage and take an extra course, above and beyond all of that, you can certainly meet with a coordinating instructor to see if we can fit an extra course into your schedule. Because the other thing is when you see the schedule, it's pretty jam-packed and there's not a whole lot of room for extra courses in there, because we do like to make the most of our face-to-face or our virtual classroom sessions. But by all means, it's something that can be explored. And so there was a question about daycare that was answered in the chat. So yes, we don't have a daycare on site, but there are lots of daycares located locally.
All right. Any more questions? Give you guys about another minute or so.
We did jam pack a lot of information in there.
Yes, you guys definitely did.
Yeah, why did we think we could finish that in 20 minutes?
So anything regarding financials, tuition, I guess more business side of your program that your faculty wouldn't be, I guess, working directly with, definitely contact us through collegeworks@nbcc.ca and we can explain that more thoroughly. There was a question earlier about visas. That's the same. Best contact is collegeworks@nbcc.ca. Just make sure that the information is very clear for you. And same with any self-isolation plans. Definitely reach out to us. They are constantly changing, so it's best to reach out and have the most up-to-date plan. All right, and that looks like everything. Again, thank you for attending the College Preview Day webinar for our administrative professional programs. And thank you, Erica, Shelley, Patsy, and Carol. Perfect.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.